We have a loaded prediction and more show for you. I say that because we have two guests, tons of predictions, our season record predictions, our NFC North playoff predictions, all of the above. Paul Allen joins the show as well, the voice of the Minnesota Vikings. Let's get going, CHGO Bears. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Welcome in. We are not ordinary here. We do not have ordinary guests coming on the show today. We're going to hear from Paul Allen, the voice of the Minnesota Vikings, in a little bit. He is extremely entertaining. He is... Actually, we recorded earlier some very respectful things to say about Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen, too. So I think you guys are going to like the interview coming up.
I highly recommend this interview coming up.
Since you recorded that interview with some back spasms, I'm going to help you out here, brother.
Oh,
we're gonna raise
this
microphone so that you're not hunched over the entire show.
This is amazing.
Welcome
Thank you so much.
Professional radio.
I did make my return to the court last night, as everybody knows, because everyone's paying attention to my life, and I apparently did not drink enough water. And I nearly died in the Paul Allen interview. But thank you to Stephen for getting me a glass of water. I hated asking for.
We were so close.
Yeah, you were right there, dude. You were there. You were on the verge.
Get him. I promise.
Don't worry, it's coming. Things don't feel great. You'll get what you want eventually here. It's probably 6 months or so.
Oh man.
Yeah. No. Just
talk about an exciting day. NFL season is here.
We got a game tonight.
We have a game tonight.
Are we excited about the game tonight?
We have a beatdown coming tonight for the Dallas Cowboys.
See, does anybody feel bad for the Floos? The guy,
I do a little bit.
Do you?
Well, I do and I don't. Why I don't is because Kenny Clark is probably the best run defender he's had.
Finally gets his 3 technique.
The last 4 years. I mean, Andrew Billings is pretty good, but Kenny Clark's... I think he's genuinely excited about getting Kenny Clark. I think that's real. On the other hand, you took a Bears job, and they immediately traded away Khalil Mack. Now you took the Cowboys job, and they immediately traded away Micah Parsons.
Go get him, Floos.
So
you don't need him. He's got the scheme.
He's got glasses now.
Yeah.
He's got good hair.
He's trying to take your
He's
style.
trying to be me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I listened to the part of the show from yesterday that I wasn't on. What in the world were you guys talking about with my hair?
Well, you didn't see the picture?
Dude, your look yesterday,
it's the same exact hair I've had every single time I've gotten a haircut the last.
Well, we have the
8
picture.
years.
This is from Doug.
Okay.
A little off track here, but yeah, to end the show, I made the observation during your whiteboard, segment that we affectionately call Whiteboard Wasted. I just kind of noticed that you look like the bad guy from the show Doug on Nickelodeon when we were kids. Did you watch it growing up?
Yeah, I hated
Is this
that show.
where you think Flu stole your look, but I think you stole Roger's look.
I mean, I think it's one of the greatest moments in Greg Bragg's history that he pulled that off. And, in person with you, I can see the hair on the side of your head. But yesterday at Hal's Hall, we could not. So you looked like that dude.
It's the same.
It was glowing.
It's literally the same.
The
The only
same
difference is that I literally left getting the haircut and went straight to house. That's the only difference.
I honestly,
I just can't wait till Carm literally replicates.
I want you guys to both know. So what you can't see behind the screen here, and by the way, we're in Studio B today. Just scheduling reasons, but we're going to take you back and forth between both studios today. Is what we're really going to do. It's going to be fun. We also have Katie Langen, who's the awesome producer of Hoge and Johns.
Yeah, Katie,
in the room with us. And I just want you two to take note of her facial expressions for how different of a show this is compared to the one that she works on and already recorded this morning.
Yeah. Well, Katie knows. She's been watching the show. She gets the variants that we bring to you.
She already gave a look that was like, "What in the hell is happening?"
Yeah, no. I was actually looking for some positivity and just it was a look of horror. And so thank you for underlining that. Because I'm
get comfortable.
Yeah.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable is Ben Johnson's moniker, but we've been doing that for 3 years here on CHGO.
Can you block PZ from the chat? Don't you dare say the green guy's better looking than me. You're out.
No. Leave PZ alone. All
We have
thoughts.
another cream situation with the guy who gets blocked just because of one comment or something. I don't know.
Did you unblock Cream
I
Sleeve?
did because it was a national
National.
conspiracy against me. I don't know.
All right.
There you go, Cream
So
Sleeve.
here we are.
You made the show. All right.
4 days away from the Bears. NFL season starts tonight. You get NFL on Friday night. College football Saturday is a loaded slate. And then obviously the full NFL slate on Sunday. Red Zone, you now get commercials. Sorry about you. But Lions-Packers at 3:25. There's just so much. There's so much that we get this weekend.
Is there a point to the laying out the schedule
I'm
that
just
you want
excited.
to get?
No,
Okay,
I'm
yeah, there
just
it is.
excited.
That's what
I'm excited to finally be here.
What's your plan for tonight, Gregory? How will you watch tonight's game?
Well, I'm going to my barber tonight, so I'll probably be watching half the game at my barber's, and then the other half, my good friend is a diehard
Whoa,
Eagles
you're gonna spend
fan.
half the game getting your hair cut?
Yeah, I got to. It's time.
It is. You might have half the time be
I've
on
been
the
waiting.
face.
I've been waiting.
Are you getting a shave?
Yeah, I don't know.
90-minute
That's-
haircut? I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
If I go over 30, I get
Well,
anxious.
just let it be known that we're having a party at Carm Homeless Shelter, and there will be. I'm grilling out tonight, buddy. We got the whole thing going on. I got the corn on the cob ready to roll. I got a steak that's been marinating. The whole thing's going on tonight. It's a big night to the opening of football. You should be proud of me, Hoge. I've prioritized this. You think that I was just, sure, the U.S. Open will be on the TV as well. We'll be flipping back and forth, but I am ready to go, buddy.
Okay. All right. I am gonna pull a curveball here, and we're gonna do our predictions kind of in chunks here throughout the show and kind of space things out.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and give the people what they want, which is they want to know what we think the Bears are going to do this season. Our official Bears record predictions. I guess I'll go first.
Yes, sir.
Sure, Greg.
Okay.
Put the optimism out there first. This is good for us.
Yes. So, Steven, go ahead and put the record on the screen. I have the Bears going 10-7.
Wow.
And I don't feel great about it, but I'm trying to keep in perspective, because I know this, how long of a season it is, and that there are seasons within a season, things change, and I do trust this coaching staff. So if I'm going to trust this coaching staff, I'm going to trust that things will improve throughout the season. The training camp doesn't determine your whole season, right? That would be unfair to say that. Now, there are certainly warning signs that you can take from certain years that go back to training camp and even sometimes OTAs. There's no question about it. But this season, it's a better roster. We are seeing development too, which in past years I can't always have said. So that development should continue throughout the regular season. And while there are definitely pockets of this thing that are tough, like playing the Eagles, the Bengals, and the Ravens all on the road. Those are three very hard games, right? But I have them going 10-7 while losing all three of those games. I think there are other opportunities. You look at how close last year was an absolute disaster in a really hard division. They had a chance to beat the Lions twice. They had a chance they got to overtime against the Vikings.
Right.
They won 14 games. They did beat the Packers. They should have beaten them twice. Okay, so
Should have beat the Colts.
there were so many games in there that were should-haves that I believe on coaching alone can easily flip the other way. So will it be an easy road? No, but I believe that 10 wins is not off the table and should be taken very, very seriously. So call me optimistic, Adam. Bears, 10-7.
So you don't have them running the ball the same 4 ways like they did on the goal line against the Colts last year. You might have a little bit of an adjustment on the goal line. I guess the biggest question then, Hoge, is if you have them going 10-7, how do you have them starting these first 4 games? Because to me, the pathway of winning 10 games, you have to find a way
to get to 3-1.
3-1.
All right, well, here I can go. So here
you got.
Well,
you're gonna have them beat Minnesota.
you're gonna have. Yeah, all right.
Everybody knows.
You're
how
gonna
they
make
get
me give away my game prediction here by doing this, but I'll go into more specifics tomorrow. I actually have the Bears losing to the Vikings.
Oh my God!
I think the Bears lose to the Vikings in Week 1 and beat the Vikings in Minnesota later in the season. And I think the reason for that is I think you have a young team that'll get better throughout the year. And as much as I want to talk up some of these additions for the Vikings, it's great they're all healthy this Week 1. 3 of those 4 big price free agents they signed are over 30, and all 4 of them were hurt last year.
Fair.
I would say there's a 0% chance all 4 of them are healthy the next time the Bears play the Vikings later on in the season. So it just speaks to how I think this thing's going to be a swing. I'll tell you what, I think the Lions go into Lambeau this weekend and win and start 1-0. And I think the Bears go into Detroit next week and Ben Johnson beats them.
Wow.
So I still have them starting 1-1. This is the NFL. It's unpredictable. It's crazy. I think the Giants are going to beat Washington this weekend.
All right.
I got a lot of thoughts on Week 1 that we can still get to maybe tomorrow, but Week 1 is crazy. I once covered a game, actually I was sitting here in studio, where Matt Eberflus beat the San Francisco 49ers in his first ever game. That happened. That was a real thing.
It was a monsoon, but yes, it did happen. That's an
It
excellent.
doesn't matter.
Oh, crazy, right.
I don't, maybe it's an
Maybe
act of nature, but it's weird.
Hey, there could be an active nature on Monday night, which I don't think the Bears actually need to win. Would you like to go next, Gregory, or would you like me to go?
I can go next if you'd like.
Okay, great. Why don't you go?
Yeah, so I my thing this whole this off season was that I'm gonna really try to tone down my hype and my hope, and I want this team to prove it. And so the meatball hasn't really fully formed. I'm not sure when it will this year, but when we did our schedule prediction, I probably had them at 10 wins. It's been a few months since we did that when the schedule release came out.
Mm-hmm.
But after seeing them at training camp and seeing how much this will be a work in progress, that I'm embracing the journey of what this process will be in year 1 of the Ben Johnson era. But having my questions about the pass rush, having my questions about how long it will take for this offense to really come together and move on all cylinders the way Ben Johnson needs to for at least this year. Forget about what they'll do years going forward. I have them going 9-8 this year. I dropped them down a win. I think they're going to be right there in that 8-9 win range. If they end up having 10 or more wins, I'm going to just be elated. Us as Bears fans, we deserve it. But I just think that I personally speaking, won't speak for anybody else. I'm going to be patient in this process. And even 9, I'm like, they're going to have to really have a lot of things go right in order for them to get to 9 wins. But I think this coaching staff, the one thing that I did see throughout the summer that was consistent was that my trust in this coaching staff to make the proper adjustments through the season is there. But I also just think the chemistry that needs to be built is just going to take some time. So I think that we just have to be realistic about what the expectations for this year are.
So I'm proud of you for the record. I don't like it when Honey Bear goes away. It kind of rattles me. Now I think like I've got to become sort of pick up the slack and step into Honey Bear. But you thought long and hard. And you did take them down 1 win, which is, we're baby stepping here.
Yeah.
So that,
I couldn't do 8.
Yeah, you just couldn't go. I understand.
You couldn't. Just looking at a losing record would make me want to.
Right. That would have been too far. But you did take it down 1, and I will be paying attention to if they do have a bad opening night that you don't completely freak out, because I don't believe that will be the case. I think you will absolutely have a meltdown, and you'll be on the balcony, and we won't know where to find you because it'll be, don't you think? But all right. That being said, I'll jump in here. I have said many times, and I'll say it again, that I think there's an incredibly wide range. I mean, if Caleb hits, I think the Bears can absolutely win 12 games this year, as tough as the schedule is. I think that with Ben and everything, as much as I love what the coaching staff is doing, if the quarterback really hits, I think the Bears could be an 11-12 win team. Now, if he doesn't hit and they live with the growing pains, then I think they could be a 5-6 win team. I think all that's possible. However, I think we're gonna land in the middle.
Shots
here.
fired at Tyson Bagent.
Well, no, I left Cabejia completely out of it.
You just said if the quarterback.
I'm assuming they're going to continue to play him all season long. I'm not leave Tyson out of it. We have plenty of time to talk about Tyson.
Get your claws out.
I mean, if we want to, if Tyson was starting week 1, I could give you that record too. Donnie asked for it, but I'm not going to do that. So listen, I have him at 7-10. That is a 2-win improvement from last year, and I think the biggest thing to remember here is that it's more about what Ben has said, building a foundation, how we're going to play, getting the quarterback much closer to his potential by the end of the season than he'll be when we start the season, when the Bears start the season on Monday night. So, look, this year for me, 7-10, 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, it's really about how they set that foundation and how good the offense looks the second half of the season. Because then you can see that the future next year, immediately, the Bears can be a legitimate playoff team. But just too much going on. Left tackle, that's wonky. Getting to the passer, Caleb's training camp up and down. I can't go more than 7-10 right now leading into the season responsibly.
Okay.
Boo. Boo. I agree. I deserve a boo. You want to boo me? Although,
I mean, you teased it, though.
Teased what?
You teased it. I mean, you have to say it then. Give the Bagent prediction if he was starting.
And we don't want to. We don't need to.
What do you mean? You teased it.
But when it's not going to happen, it's not happening. So we don't need to go there. But yeah, I do. I think that I think the Bears will win a lot of football games with.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
But the ceiling, yeah,
because you're talking about the left tackle, you're talking about not being able to get to the quarterback as a pass rush, and some of the things that concern you. Those are things outside of the quarterback,
right?
So I am very curious how much you think the difference between a guy like Tyson Bagent would cover those concerns up in order to change that win total.
So I mean, I think that Tyson has a very bright future in the NFL. I just don't think it's going to be playing with the Bears this season because I think that you drafted Caleb Williams,
Correct.
#1 overall, and he has enormous amounts of talent that Ben Johnson is here to uncover. So I think it's just a moot point. But, do I think that they win 10 games with Tyson? Yeah, I do. But again, it's the wide range. I think they could win 12 with Caleb if he hits. Maybe even listen. There's a lot of talent on this team. There's a lot of possibilities in the receiver room. There's a lot of possibilities at tight end. It's a wide range, but we have to make a prediction. I'm going with 7-10.
Okay. Do you think they beat the Dallas Cowboys?
I do.
Do you think they beat the Vegas Raiders?
I don't.
Okay. Do you think they beat Washington?
I don't.
Do you think they beat New Orleans?
Yes.
Do you think they beat the Giants at home?
Yes.
What about Pittsburgh at home?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Cleveland?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
That's five, that's 5 wins right there.
Right.
You don't think they win any other – you think they only win 2 other additional games?
I think they win 2 games in the division.
Okay.
When I went to the exercise that you're doing,
I'm not hating on it. I think the range is 7 to 10 wins.
Yeah. When I went through it game by game, if I was going to just give that prediction, I was at 8 and 9 when I went game by game by game what I think. All right, but so I downgraded them 1 because there's just too much going on.
I'll say this much: Jeremy Fowler reported this and put this out there, and this was a quote from Jeremy talking about when you say, how will Ben Johnson call plays with Caleb Williams and how they're going to figure this out through the season. And this was Jeremy Fowler's quote. It says, now that we're past the preseason, watch for the Bears to flash some creativity to maximize Caleb Williams. My sense from people in Chicago is that while head coach Ben Johnson would coach Williams relentlessly on basics throughout camp, they would eventually play to Williams' strengths. utilizing his mobility and off-platform throws and off-script playmaking. Bears fans could see more of that in the regular season. So, when you listen to our interview here with Paul Allen too, I think that is going to be the $1 million question, is how they call plays with Caleb Williams and how this all looks with what we're used to seeing, how Ben Johnson calls plays with the Lions.
All right, we got more predictions coming up. We're going to tell you our entire NFC North order as well as our playoff teams that we are predicting in both conferences. Plus, Paul Allen, voice of the Vikings, joins us. But first, all right, let's get real for a second here. The world has gone soft, just like the Cowboys pass rush tonight against the Eagles. Everyone's getting, who's not getting a trophy tonight? The Cowboys. They're not even going to cover. It's going to be bad, and Jerry Jones is going to he's going to need a lot of RC Cola to get through the night. Let's just be honest. Soda used to have some kick. Now it's all about pretty colors and easy fizz. Well, RC Cola is not a soft drink. Just damn good cola. It's the original cola that doesn't fold under pressure. RC is an OG cola in a world of spineless soft drinks. No trends, no gimmicks, no glow up. RC hasn't changed its stripes since 1905 because it didn't need to. It's the same bold, crisp flavor it's always been. RC Cola tastes like a punch in the thirst. So do yourself a favor, grab some RC at your local store, stock up for all your end of summer parties, back to school celebrations, or just watching the game. RC is the move for whatever you're doing.
Shout out to our great friends at Bet365 with the Bet365 early payout offer. Your winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download the app and use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. Thursday Night Football, you got a $10 safety net bet. Sunday Night Football, you got a $365,000 jackpot. Monday Night Football, you got 50% super profit boost token on same game parlays. So breaking news from Bet365, new customers now get $300 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code CHGO365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $300 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on the spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, shout out to Zero Demon, who came in big with a $100 donation to Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We are continuing to partner with them throughout the month of September, encouraging your donations all week long here. It's just a great organization partnering with all of ALLCITY, all of our networks. Zero Demon with a big $100 donation. You can donate right if you're watching here on YouTube. You just look for the little logo that looks like this, just two hands shaking, right by the chat. You can donate directly there. 100% of the proceeds go to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Or you can go to bbs.org/AllCity. If you're listening to the podcast, you can go directly to the website there. We're going to continue on with our predictions on this big, massive prediction episode. We might have a surprise guest coming up here in 5 minutes, too.
Potential royalty, potential.
And Paul Allen joining the show in a little bit. But let's talk NFC North, guys. We gave you our Bears predictions, and now it is a matter of where they finish in this division. So I already told you my predictions: the Bears go 10-7. How does that stack up in the NFC North? This is how I have it. And for the record, I predicted every single game for all four of these teams.
Damn right you did.
I did.
That's what Hoge does.
I think that overall this division takes a step back this year, and it's not necessarily because the teams are worse. As much as, I mean, there's a little bit of that with a couple of the teams. But I also think, the schedules are all hard throughout the division, harder than last year, in my opinion, for, teams like the Lions, Vikings that won 15 and 14 games respectively. Yep. But also I think because the Bears are better, the division is going to kind of beat up on itself a little bit too. It's going to be a tough road. It's going to be much harder to have two teams win 15 and 14 games, again, is the point. I do have the Lions winning the division. Here's my order. I have the Lions winning 11 games, the Bears winning 10, the Vikings winning 9, and the Packers, despite the Micah Parsons trade, coming in fourth with 8 wins. I'm sorry, we cannot spend an entire offseason talking up Ben Johnson and how much we trust and believe in Ben Johnson and then pretend like that's not going to have an issue for the Lions. I think they take a step back. I do think their defense will be better this year, but I do not think their offense will be as good as it was, and I don't really even think that's that hot of a take. And oh, by the way, before the Lions fans that were weirdly in the chat every single day, and we do appreciate you watching the show, freak out, 11 wins is still pretty good, and you're still winning the NFC North, in my opinion, and you're still going to be a threat. Maybe you could even win a playoff game this year.
So that
was a shot. That was actually a shot. Yeah. In terms of the Vikings and the Packers, if that surprises you, you know what, the Vikings... Their schedule's just brutal, man. 2 primetime games to start, 2 games across the ocean, and sandwiched in there, they got to play Joe Burrow. And I'm high on Joe Burrow. By the way, Joe Burrow's my MVP pick this year. So and then they come back from all that after a bye week, and they play the Eagles, the Chargers, the Lions, the Ravens, the Bears, and the Packers. Like, it just never stops. Oh, then they got to go to Seattle. It just never stops. I don't think the Vikings are that bad. I do think that they spent too much money on older players that I think is going to backfire for them a little bit later on in the season. And I just think it's going to be a tough year for them. The Packers, I said this last week for the Micah Parsons trade. I thought they had the worst roster of any of the teams in this division. The Micah Parsons trade obviously made me think long and hard about how much of a boost that was going to actually be. But I just think and by the way, I was right about this the last time this happened. In Mike McCarthy's last year, they restructured things. Things got dicey. They ended up not being that good that year. And I called that. I'm calling my shot on this again. I think there's more stress and desperation up there in Green Bay than most people realize. They have a new team president this year. That can put people on the hot seat. I think that's a big reason why they made a move for Micah Parsons, because I think they're starting to feel the heat up there, Brian Gutekunst, who hasn't drafted a Pro Bowler in 4 or 5 years now. And Matt LaFleur is just a little on edge. You saw how he reacted to the Ben Johnson comments. So it's more of a gut feeling there and feeling the vibes in Green Bay and in Wisconsin right now, but I don't think they have a great season.
Well, and when you talk about all the teams in the NFC North have a gauntlet. They're playing... the AFC North, and they're playing the NFC North. It's going to be a tough season for all, no matter how the schedule actually breaks down. But you're right. When you look at the start of the seasons and just its brutality, the Packers, they better beat the Lions week 1, right? Because if you don't, now you have a short week on Thursday Night Football against the Commanders, And so it's just going to be really interesting to see how things play out for all these teams in these first couple weeks. And there's a lot of unfamiliarity and there's rustiness and all that stuff. You better hope you come away with at least 1 win to make yourself through it before you really find your footing.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys, we're a little bit tight on time. Why don't you dive into your predictions?
You want to give yours?
You go ahead.
You want me to go? Okay. All right. Listen, I started this exercise thinking that I was going to pick Detroit, and I did the same exact thing that you just did. And their schedule is brutal. It is incredibly challenging. And then I got to thinking, well, they put that win total at 10.5, which just screams bet the over. Vegas is always right. So contrarian, I'm moving the Lions down to 10, which when I went through the schedule, I hated to do this, but I'm putting Green Bay at the top because the Packers' schedule falls the best of anybody in the division to me. Plus, add in the talent, add in a healthy Jordan Love. I know we've had a lot of conversation. We'll have more of it with Paul Allen about Jordan. I'm more optimistic. I believe in Jordan Love apparently more than most people do. To me, when you look at Green Bay's schedule, they get Cincinnati at home. That's a much tougher game on the road that the Bears are going to have to play. There's the way it breaks out for them. They get the tougher games on the road. They play the Giants on the road. There's just Green Bay. To me, their schedule plays out a little bit, just a drop easier. Go ahead.
Can I push back a little bit?
You can, sure.
1-5 against the division last year.
Okay,
and they should have been 0-6.
That's
without a fingertip on a block kick at Soldier Field. This is I have them going 1-6 in their last 7.
Okay.
And here's why.
Well, their last 7 is
Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago, at Denver, at Chicago versus Baltimore at Minnesota.
Yep.
A lot of division games. I think they struggle against the division again. And then the ones that are non-divisional games are tough on the road at Denver and Baltimore. Well, Baltimore's at home.
Yeah, but to your point there, and by the way, if the Micah Parsons back thing starts to flare up later in the season, the schedule gets tough.
Flaring up now.
I understand, but they're
just like yours is.
I did have a very rough spasm in the middle of the Paul Allen interview.
We already talked about it on the show.
We did? Okay, great. Listen, I hate doing this, but this is where I got to. Green Bay 11-6, Detroit 10-7, and I've got the Bears and the Vikings both coming in at 7-10. A little tied for 3, tied for 4th situation here. Minnesota's schedule, to your point, is incredibly difficult. I am a seller of J.J. McCarthy, even though everything I read about J.J. McCarthy is that he's doing everything right and the arm strength is showing up and all these good things. We'll see about that on Monday night. I got to see it to believe it. And I got the Bears making the biggest win improvement in the division, getting to 7 wins, and we'll put them in 3rd place.
All right. Well, I'll get to my predictions here. We'll be quick. I know we got some couple interviews to get to, so I won't go crazy here. But I've got the Lions at 11-6.
Great prediction.
Thank you. I got the Packers at 10-7. I got the Bears at 9-8, and then the Vikings, as you guys have mentioned. I just have a tough time with, as tough as his schedule is, and having a first-time quarterback. He's obviously in his 2nd year, but in essence, he is a rookie in a lot of ways of the things that he's going to have to learn this year. And obviously, we as Bears fans saw that learning curve and what that takes for Caleb Williams last year. Clearly, he has a much better coach in Kevin O'Connell than Caleb had last year, and that's why they're not going to win 5 games because of that inexperience. But, they'll knock on the door. Maybe they should have, would have, could have won 10, but I see the Vikings winning 8 games. But I got 3 teams for the NFC North with a winning record.
All right.
Listen.
Look, it's unpredictable, which is why we just spent 20 minutes.
I mean, the Packers went 1-5 in the division last year. The Bears also went 1-5. Both could have gone 0-6, but every team in the NFC North, the games are decided in the last 2 minutes. So, I mean, when you're trying to figure out who's going to win this division, it's going to come down to these divisional games, and they're all going to be decided in the last 2 minutes of the game. So you could have the best team in the NFC North have a 2-4 or a 1-5 record in the division. The Packers went 1-5 in the division last year and won 10 games. That easily could happen again this year, where you have a playoff team from the North that has that kind of record in the division. It's just that is how the margin is so slim here in the North.
All right, we need to take our next time out, but we got more predictions and Paul Allen and maybe a surprise guest coming your way too. But first,
hey, listen up to our friends at Ownwell, because they want to help you. I want to help you. Let's all pay less in taxes. Don't you want to pay less in taxes, Gregory?
Yes.
Yes, you do. You don't live in Cook County, and that's a good thing for all of us. But if you ever did,
I don't either.
And the people that do. I have owned many places in Cook County, and that's why I could speak to Ownwell, because I love my friends at Ownwell, because I love paying less for property taxes. And how easy is it to sign up at Ownwell? It's the easiest. It takes 3 minutes of your time. And let me tell you something. You know what Ownwell does? They don't charge you up front. They charge you a 25% contingent fee. That's basically nothing. And by the way, do they reduce your taxes? Yeah, they do. 86% of the time. And is it a lot of money? Yes, it is. $1,102 on average. Save money on your Cook County property tax with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes. Start your appeal today. Ownwell.com/cook. That's OWNWELL.com/cook.
And you only pay if your property taxes are reduced.
Damn straight.
That's the key.
Yeah, that is the key. Thank you.
Hey, whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, exceptional customer service. You can bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. And boy, are we excited, because there's actual football happening tonight. A real NFL game.
Derek Stevens. Keep going.
That was weird. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circa Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime, in Illinois. As soon as you cross that border into Illinois, Greg, after getting pulled over, you can
Get off your phone.
then you get back on your phone. You get on Circus Sports. Download your new bookie today. CircusSports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah, and
Derek Stevens.
if you're at Circus Sports Swim, you can get wet.
Just phenomenal job overall.
Thank you.
Can't beat fun at the old CHGO Bears. Can't beat it.
Reality spray. That's what that was. Been spraying too much of it here with our win-loss record.
Well, we're holding ourselves accountable, and we're also trying to win.
Yeah.
Who's the only guy on the show that's ever gotten a season record right?
I don't know. You're the only person that cares about this.
Oh, really? You don't care about it,
No.
Greg? Oh, you don't care?
I said this last year. This is the exact same time. To me, the only thing I really value is the week-to-week prediction. The schedule release prediction or the before the season win-loss prediction. There's so much context that changed week to week with injuries and stuff. It's a fun exercise just to try to get to know the schedule, but ultimately just the week-to-week prediction is the only thing that holds its true weight for me.
I don't even disagree
Cool. So
with that.
anyway, despite all of that, what he just said, devaluing this whole segment, we're now going to give you more predictions.
That's right.
By the way, who won the week-to-week last year?
You won the week-to-week last year.
Thank you, buddy.
Took you 3 years to pass me up.
Okay. Oh, but yeah, I got the total, too.
You got the total right now.
Years.
Got the total, too.
Because I was champ for the first 2 years, and you never heard it from me. So that's my point, Carm.
You are very humbled. Humble brags.
Thank you. Humble brags.
That's right.
That's right.
There you
Humble
go.
brags.
There you
It's
go.
my favorite brags. All right.
It's fleeting.
At least one of us spent a lot of time actually putting a lot of effort into this because I do care about it, actually, even though I'm going to be wrong. Here are
not.
your playoff predictions. We're going to go NFC first. Woo! All right. As much as I wanted to, well, let's just put it on the screen. Here we go. Here's my 7. Here's my 7 Bears. Bears are in there. Yes. The Eagles, I just think are good. I know they lost some guys on defense, but they have Vic Fangio, and I just trust Vic Fangio. I don't think the defense takes that big of a step back. They're primed offensively, so I think they have a big year. They get the 1 seed. The 49ers were down last year, obviously, but their roster isn't really that down, and their schedule is incredibly easy. I believe they have the easiest schedule in the entire NFL this year. So I still have the 49ers second. I just think they have a big year. I am high on the Buccaneers. Now, their schedule's harder, so I don't have them winning as many games. I tried to look for a scenario in which I could get the Buccaneers to the Super Bowl. So there's a little teaser for you there. But I think Baker Mayfield continues this. I think their defense is good enough. I think offensively they don't skip a beat, even though they lost Liam Cohen. So I have the Bucs at 12-5. Lions also at 12-5, coming in with the 4 seed, winning the division. We discussed that. Didn't I have them going 11-6? I might have screwed that up.
Whoops.
Yeah. Regardless.
Close enough.
Steven messed it up.
No, I think it might have actually been me. But regardless, they'd still be the 4 seed. The Arizona Cardinals. Watch out for the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are primed to make a jump this year. Their schedule is also on the easier side. I think defensively, they were already they finished the season like 6th in scoring defense over the last 8 weeks or something like that, kind of secretly. I think they're primed for a much bigger year. The Bears, if they do win 10 games, that should be, as I predicted, that should get them in the playoffs. And the Seattle Seahawks as well, I think, sneak in there with 10 wins. They just barely missed out a year ago, but 10 wins should get them in there this year. So those are my NFC teams.
Gregory, you want to go next, or would you like to hear my brilliance?
All right, I'll go next because then we can finish with your brilliance.
Thank you.
Wait, should I do my AFC first or how?
Yeah, stick with the
It's
NFC.
You
I
make
don't
the
know.
call.
Here, I'll just do it quickly and then get my Super Bowl pick.
Okay.
All right, here's the AFC. I think it's a big year for the Buffalo Bills. I think they're primed for success. I think this is their year. Last season in their stadium before going into a new one. Isn't that the dream? Baltimore Ravens as the 2 seed. They win 14 games. They get a tiebreaker over the Chiefs because I actually think the Ravens will beat the Chiefs head-to-head. But all 3 teams. Look, the Chiefs, don't sleep on the Chiefs. I see them a lot of the Chiefs are still going to be good. They got a steal at left tackle in the draft. They're probably better overall, their entire roster, believe it or not, this year.
So do the Texans get a steal at left tackle in the draft? Go on.
Yeah, the Texans do. Well, that's why I got them 11-6 and winning the AFC South. I think the Broncos, well coached, obviously, with Sean Payton. I think they continue pointing things in the right direction. They made the playoffs last year. Chargers, losing Rashawn Slater was a big blow, but Harbaugh, again, good coaching. They're going to be able to run the football back in the playoffs. Bengals have a tough schedule, but I think Joe Burrow is the MVP this year. He certainly had his case last year. The team just wasn't good enough. There's enough of an improvement defensively. The Bengals get back in with Joe Burrow leading the way. My Super Bowl pick, little chalky here based on my 1 seeds, but as much as I wanted to get the Bucs in there, I do not think that they would go into Philadelphia and win the NFC Championship game on the road. So I do have the Eagles in the Super Bowl, but I have them losing to the Buffalo Bills, who close out their long stadium history there by beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game and then taking it to the Super Bowl, where maybe Taylor Swift's performing at halftime and the Bills beat the Eagles.
Would love to see it. I would sign up for that all day long, but shockingly, I do not have that prediction. But Gregory, you're up, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's start with the NFC here. It's going to be a gauntlet in the NFC, and I have the Eagles reigning supreme once again in the NFC with a 13-4 record. Lions are going to be 12-5. Got the Rams at 11-6. Matt Stafford's got to stay healthy in order for that to happen. Michael Penix with the Falcons.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm bullish on the Falcons here. I've always liked Michael Penix coming out of college.
Darnell Mooney.
Big faith in Ryan Pace in the front office.
Yeah, Ryan Pace.
You love Atlanta.
Office. Yeah, so I got 3 teams finishing 10-7. The Falcons, the Packers, and Commanders all finishing 10-7. And then the Bears wiggling their way. You thought I couldn't meatball, but I just found my, squeezed a mini meatball into the back end of the wild card. Bears make it 9-8, 3 teams from the NFC North.
I don't think 9-8 gets you into the playoffs, but
I don't care what you think. This is my schedule prediction. So let's get to my AFC predictions. Thank you very much. And the Ravens, I got the Ravens winning tonight, and I got the Ravens winning the AFC conference at 13-4. Bills right there behind it. I think tonight's going to be a big one in terms of deciding that. Texans 11-6. Chiefs still doing their thing at 11-6. Chargers 10-7. Steelers 10-7. And then I agree with Hoge with the Bengals. To me, Joe Burrow's always dealt a rough card in Cincinnati. At least last year it felt that way. But I think this year they find a way into the playoffs. And there it is. That's my AFC conference. And then for my Super Bowl, Eagles return, but I am taking the Ravens. That's right. Come on, Lamar Jackson.
Way to go, Greg.
Rooting for you. Come on. The Bears can't win it. I need somebody new to win it. I'd like the Ravens to be that team. I think Lamar Jackson's been knocking on the door. So has Josh Allen. I think the Bills or the Ravens would be a fun story to win the Super Bowl if the Bears obviously can't win it. But I took the Ravens this time around.
Shout out to Johnny Wan, who's coming at me in lots of ways, but also getting things right. Okay. Good pick there, Gregory. Excellent slide of the Bears in there. I love it. NFC, let's go. I don't think there's any, at least not a lot of doubt on this show that the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the NFC. That train is going to keep on rolling, so I thought that was an easy call. Now, I do slip in Matthew Stafford at 37. Give me a red-hot Puka Nacua. Give me a Devontae Adams. Give me the Rams. Somehow getting healthy. Sean McVay squeezing it out here as a surprise 12-win team. I'm with Hogan in a big Buccaneer optimism here. I've got Baker Mayfield as my quarterback in our guillotine league. Let's go, Baker. I love his pathway there. Green Bay, you're up top the NFC North. You get the 4 slot here. Detroit, you're slipping in at 5. And then, of course, look, I'm a buyer on Jaden Daniels. and the Commanders, even though that roster is a little bit thin. But, hey, he did it last year. I see him doing it again as far as making the playoffs. And then, Hoge, I'm with you on the Niners, but not just as optimistic. That schedule is easy, and 10 wins, you get in. 9 wins, not going to cut it, Gregory, so let's go there. Now, to the AFC. What's happening? The AFC Chiefs. Why would anybody pick against the Kansas City Chiefs? 15 wins for the Bills? That is bold as hell. I'll take 13 wins and put Kansas City up top. I got the Bills at 12-5 as those two renew their rivalry up top the AFC. Your Ravens, I'm still not a huge Lamar fan, to be honest, but 11 wins, always always right in the thick of things. So 1 minute. Well, then there's the rest of it. And yes, Johnny Wanna, that's right. I have the New York Jets in my fun.
Oh my God, he was kidding, but you actually do have the Jets.
I do. Justin Fields leads the New York Jets to 9 wins and the final playoff spot in the AFC.
You don't even get to do a Super Bowl prediction after that.
You just like to see Bears fans miserable. That's why you picked that.
Right. So don't do that. I
did do that.
Carm's got the Chiefs over the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Thank you. Detroit makes a playoff run.
We got to get our final break in here. Paul Allen is coming up next, the voice of the Minnesota Vikings. It's a really good, fun interview. Don't go anywhere. But first,
shout out to our friends at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. What a ride it was in the tracks today. By the way, they're slashing prices on new cars and giving you big savings all month long. Come in today, shop the new car clearance event. You hear that? New car clearance event. Plus, yes, they have 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 with one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. You are sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. You could use an upgrade over there. Plus, Ray Price Promise. Greg, when you go in, you're going to shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. Once again, shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com.
Shout out to Ray's Fantasy League, too. Great intro to the league draft.
Ray knows football. Ray knows cars. Ray.
He does. He's really good at fantasy football. He wins. His trophy, if you go into Ray Chevy, you'll literally see his fantasy football trophy in his office.
And popcorn.
That's a true story.
And bottles of water.
Hey, you know the moment, that one where you realize you left your favorite sunglasses, at the beach. Maybe your kid buried it in the sand like mine did, and you couldn't find it. And then by the time you did, you're like, you know what? I need a new pair now. Or maybe you left them on the roof of your car. They fell off. Hey, look. Shady Rays changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. Seriously good-looking, polarized, durable, not stupidly expensive. And the wild part is, if you lose them or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now I wear my sunglasses without fear on hikes, concerts, on the boat, especially on the boat, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. ShadyRays.com, code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try it for yourself. The Shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. By the way, I see people asking. Steven is going to give his predictions before the show is over.
The ultimate tease.
But right now, he's going to tell you what's going on with the awesome donations.
All right, we mentioned Zero Demon with $100 already. Jason and Michelle donated $20 to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Our guy Garden Hoser, he donates $5 as well.
You're the man.
And then Charles Hahn just donated $20. And then our guy who always gives us super chats, Motor Music Michael, he said he was having some issues earlier, but I wanted to make sure he got shouted out as well. He was struggling to get the donation through our charity here, but he was able to go directly to their website, and he donated $100 too.
That's great.
Yes,
and yes, it will so much.
And it will count towards CHGO. That's bbbs.org/ALLCITY if you don't do it here on YouTube. So especially helpful for the podcast listeners out there. All right, Paul Allen is the voice of the Minnesota Vikings. He's incredibly entertaining. His analysis and thoughts on this game I thought were really good, and he was pretty complimentary of a lot of pieces of the Chicago Bears as well. We had a chance to talk to PA a little bit earlier. Here is that conversation. You know, guys, one of my favorite parts of this crazy NFL world that we live and breathe in are the relationships, and I'd like to call them friendships we make along the way.
That's right.
And one of our friends, along with Pete Bursich, who was on the show last week, is Paul Allen, the voice of the Minnesota Vikings. They do such a great job. He also
he was our friend.
Oh, he's not this week?
Now he's our enemy. That's right.
What's going on, Paul?
No, we're friends. I mean, this would be friendly fire, I guess. And the opportunity to call Vikings games is a privilege and it's a blessing. But not every venue to which we travel is like my favorite or one that I really look forward to. I really enjoy calling games at Soldier Field. Chicago's the bomb, as the city would go itself, at least for me. From Washington D.C. I mean, I'm from big cities, and now I live in the cornfields. But I love Soldier Field, man. I love you guys, and I can't wait for this game.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I went on Paul's show yesterday. The first question he asked me about was the turf at Soldier Field. And it's a fair one over the years. He's been there. He knows what it usually looks like.
Well, Emma, our social team, was there today for the unveiling of the new food that'll be at the stadium, and it was all resodded.
Right. That's why he was worried about it. How did it
That's
look,
the thing.
though?
Emma put it on our Twitter account. It's looking
looked
good. Now they got to
Okay.
paint
It
it.
doesn't matter how it looks. It matters like when you step on it and you get in the seams and everything. And you know what? It's probably not going to be a problem. But when I read about those 5 concerts and then I read about the bricklayer, going to either all 5 of them or maybe one of them, but 5 sounds more extravagant than one. And every Tuesday on my 9 to noon radio show on KFAN, I have Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell for about 30 minutes. And, whether it's him or some others, now this is Tuesday before a Monday game, I bring this up and they have so many things on their mind about Ben Johnson and Rome Odunze and Grady Jarrett and stuff like that I just didn't feel anybody was taking this field situation very seriously. I mean, it's all fun and games until it comes up a little murky and a little swampy, which it probably won't. But that's how excited I am for this game that I'm already down the road on the field.
Paul, let me just confirm that actually you are correct, and it's going to be a problem. The Bears are, not sure that everybody knows this, but they're moving to Arlington Heights, and the city doesn't care about the Bears anymore. That's why they put 5 straight concerts in 5 straight days. So I think you're dead ass right that this will be an issue. Thank you for bringing it to everyone's attention, and I think you should get a raise. So let's just put all that in there. But to ask you an actual question about the game. J.J. McCarthy in the betting world, they have him throwing for more yards than Caleb Williams by 10. Do you think that's correct going into week 1?
Wow. It's interesting you bring that up because the producer of my radio show today was going over some props, like a daily fantasy thing that we do once a week. And it was, I think, 31.5 attempts for McCarthy. And I think that's high. I think that number's too high. Now, obviously, game shape and the way the thing works out could change everything. But that would be a pass for me, and here's why. Because off the 68 sacks, third most in the history of the NFL, off the 6.3 yards per attempt. I mean, that yards per attempt for Caleb last year was 33rd. There only are 32 teams. So that means some backup L had a better yards per attempt than Caleb with at least 100 throws. And then you get to the career long, which is like 47. And all right, it's only his first year, but 47, I mean, that's light. So does that mean Ben's going to come into this thing, looking to stretch it and do the yards after catch stuff that's going to get 50, 60, 70? Maybe. I think with Caleb and with McCarthy, it's going to be a slow build. So that's too tough for me to call, but I just don't see JJ throwing 31.5 times.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the biggest question, right? I mean, here in Chicago, we're trying to figure out how Ben Johnson's going to call a game with Caleb Williams in his first time being head coach. But then on your side of the ball, obviously Kevin O'Connell has laid a foundation of what the offense is going to be through a bunch of different quarterbacks over the last few years. Obviously Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins having big years. So that's the question. That's $1 million question we're wondering as Bears fans. Is this offense going to look a little different with J.J. McCarthy with maybe more of an encouragement to run the ball more than maybe they have the last few years?
Okay, well, consider this. Now, O'Connell comes in 2022. Cousins has his best season as a pro. Then, about the midway point of 2023, Cousins is in MVP conversation, pops his Achilles at Lambeau. We then go through Josh Dobbs, Jaron Hall, and Nick Mullins. Then last year, the Darnold resurgence until the unacceptable game at Ford Field, and then the playoff loss. So, with that said, during all of that, the Vikings under O'Connell are number one in the NFL over the last 3 years when it comes to passes 10 yards or more in attempts, completions, and yardage. So that's through even Dobbs, Hall, and Mullins. So that's the baseline edict for how things are operated with the offense. No matter if you're a first-time starter like McCarthy, or if you're Mullins, who's been around the block a little bit, he'd give you 400 and change, and sadly throw a bad pick at the end of the game. It's not a lot's going to change from an offensive approach standpoint. It's not like there's going to be a governor, a proverbial governor that's on J.J. McCarthy. It's all going to come down to matchups. I mean, if Jalen Johnson's out there running around, how well is he running? Tyreek Stevenson has a little boomer bust to him. I happen to like him, but I think he has some boomer bust. And with the safeties, if you go play action and McCarthy's play action is really good, can you put Brisker in a bad spot and make him run? If O'Connell sees stuff like that early, man, he's cold-blooded. I mean, he's really, really ruthless with stuff like that. So it's hard to project now. For week one is so hard in that fundamentals trump scheme, because there are so many unscouted looks that take place in week number one. I'm not going to say that favors Ben Johnson, but he did run up 30.5 on Flores over 4 games when he was with the Lions. There are going to be a lot of those plays. I wouldn't be surprised in a nationally televised game if he dusted off some of his sweet tricks that they've been working on for like the last month or 2 months. So the unscouted look part, see, that's what can mess up an over or under in week one.
Yeah, and, Paul, we all have our concerns about our teams going into week one, right? Here in Chicago, the left tackle, it's been a conversation. I'm sure it's keeping some people awake. Jonathan Grenard going up against Braxton Jones. Mainly the bricklayer over here. Can't sleep over that one. Yep. If I ask you, though, from the Vikings perspective, like what are like the 1 or 2 biggest concerns that you guys have right now going into the season that maybe have not been quite figured out yet, or you don't know what the answers are yet?
Adam, do you mean in this game or for like the totality of the season?
Honestly, totality of the season. Yeah.
Well, see, I don't really like to come at it from a concern standpoint. I mean, they have a way of unveiling themselves. They, less frequently than people would think, are the concerns that people look at within the building or within the meetings and within the covenant. We're talking about a 14-win team here that added Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, like the Bears, upgraded the middle of the offensive line with Donovan Jackson, first-rounder Ohio State left guard, Ryan Kelly and Will Fries, a couple of former Colts, center and right guard. All right, so what's the tell there? Well, the tell with those 3 on the offensive line is that they feel that they can mash forward in the running game, plus Jordan Mason's now in the mix. I think it's going to help Aaron Jones too. So, when you think concerns, I guess the low-hanging fruit here would be looking at the Vikings cornerbacks. Byron Murphy Jr. would be a 1, 2, or a 3 on any team in the NFL. Byron's really, really good, and he's gotten good over the last 1.5, 2 years. But, then you get Jeff Okudah. All right, now Jeff had his problems with Houston last year, but what are they going to ask Jeff to do? Is he going to be the short side of the field? You got the hash marks here, and then the short side stays over here, ball's on the left hash. So he'll probably be checking that receiver on that side. Less room to run, more ability to beat somebody up at the line, and Jeff's really, really good at that. When it comes to straight line running down the field with like Odunze, I don't know if many can do that, but maybe that's not Jeff's fort, so to speak, as of now. And then you get to Isaiah Rodgers, a new corner here from Philadelphia, and Isaiah's incredibly fast. But here's a little tell. Like, into the offseason, OTAs, minicamp, and stuff like that, when they were thinking about kick returner, well, Isaiah Rodgers has a kick return touchdown and has returned like 60 some odd kicks in his career. All right. Well, they gave up on that in training camp, not because he's bad at it, but because they know they don't want to get him nicked up returning kicks because of a depth situation there. So I guess I could look at that, but you see, I think that would diminish or kind of disrespect the pass rush, where Grenard and Van Ginkel, man, they went for like 24 sacks combined last year and 36 tackles for loss. And it should be the same this year, if not better. Then you put Hargrave and Allen in the middle, and the rush from up the middle is supposed to be better. All of that should protect the corners. So I don't really know if I can look at that like as a weakness or a concern, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it sounds to me, listen to you, Paul, and I mean you're the voice of the Vikings. You have to be optimistic about the team you're calling and just believe it. Well, okay. That's
well, no,
that's.
I don't. I mean, let's just be straight with your vast and ever expanding audience. I don't get paid to call games by the Vikings. I get paid by KFan and iHeartRadio. I get this $10.99 from the Vikings to interview O'Connell, do TV preseason games, some appearances, and read ads for them. So I'm too far down the road, brother, to be beholden to the Shield. Now I'm not going to be one being like, this guy sucks and he should be fired. But I wasn't that guy before I started calling Vikings games. So I see what you're saying there. But that's just my approach to life. I come at it with faith before fear 10 out of 10 times.
For the record, he's not just saying that. If you listen to their broadcasts, that is why I love listening to the broadcast. They're going to react.
Well,
the highs and lows throughout the game, and it's very entertaining.
I think we should all pause for a second or two and just realize that Paul is one of the few that has established himself, that has left, that can actually do this. So congratulations to you. That's amazing. I was trying to act. It wasn't really. I think I just phrased it wrong. Where I was trying to go though is I'm trying to understand a 14-win team. The gambling markets have it at 8.5 for the Vikings. So I'm wondering, is it just J.J. McCarthy?
But yet they're favorites. The Bears are home dogs this week.
Well,
too.
right, because everybody thinks that the Bears are going to be 4, the Vikings are going to be 3, and the Packers and the Lions are going to battle for the top. Do you think that it is just too simple to look at the North that way? And I'm also wondering, like, from your perspective, why do you think that, is it just J.J. McCarthy that everyone thinks that the Vikings are a 7, 8, 9 win team?
Well, the division also gets the AFC North this year. So like that 6.5 that they put out last year, that was freaking ridiculous. And fortunately, sharps like you picked up on it and moved it to 7.5, like literally within an hour of when that season total went out on the market. 7.5, I thought was too light too. This unless you have just unbelievably devastating injuries as a common thread the entire season, I can't see this team winning fewer than 10 games. And I know they won 14 last year, but the division is better. And early in the season, I really do believe in the low-hanging fruit about the Lions coaching staff, where we're talking about not just coordinators, but like assistants to the coordinators. I mean, it was absolutely pilfered. So if they're going to come out and just snap and push a button, and there goes Jahmyr Gibbs for 220 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns at Lambeau, okay, what's going to happen the next week? So I think that's going to be a little slow to go. With Green Bay, I can't, you know what, I'm from Washington, D.C. I've lived all over the world. I'm not shoe size contest Minnesotan when it comes to Vikings and Packers and like the border battle and stuff like that. I can't wrap my mind around the quarterback in big games. I've seen Jordan Love, whether it's Dre Greenlaw in a playoff game against San Francisco, the performance at Philadelphia last year in the playoffs. Then Packer fans will hit me with like, yeah, but they won nicely at Dallas a couple of years ago. Yeah, Aaron Jones had 3 touchdowns, and the whole thing was on him. So I like the quarterback. I don't love him. I think they're tied to a pretty risky contract there if this thing doesn't work out. But they're going to be good, and they're young, and I love Edger and Cooper. And I got a lot of respect for Ben Johnson, man, and Dennis Allen. I mean, I've seen enough of Dennis Allen with the New Orleans Saints to know what he can do. Like Kevin O'Connell's so good at what he does. a couple of years ago, we got Josh Dobbs at quarterback. And, all of us, so Josh is running the team to victories, but guys are being left wide open. And, we get to a game against the Saints and Dobbs is rolling. But then in the second half, Dennis Allen did something that changed the whole game. And then the next week, Denver did the same thing. And then that was it for Dobbs. We went to Las Vegas. He threw Jefferson a hospital ball that legitimately sent Justin to the hospital. They won the game 3-0, and Josh never was heard from again. That all started with that second half at US Bank Stadium, guided by Dennis Allen. And I know Kevin O'Connell and coaches like Mike Pettin just have the ultimate respect in Dennis Allen. And I believe in Ben because I've just seen it so much, man, with how he catches teams off guard, as good as I've ever seen anybody. So the Bears are going to be better for sure. But that 8.5, I mean, it's a good number. Last year was a bad number, whatever it ended up at. It's a good number this year, man, because hooking the AFC North, and then the Vikings get Philadelphia right out of their bye. It's a tough number, man.
So you wouldn't be surprised then if all 4 teams in the division are within, say, 3 wins of each other. Is that fair?
Well, I need to see the Bears rush the quarterback without blitzing. So, I know what Montez Sweat with the 5.5 last year, that's no good. And now when Montez was traded from Washington middle of the season 2 years ago, I mean, I had just the utmost respect for him with how he played after that trade for a team that wasn't going anywhere. So that's who he is for whatever. He probably was doubled and chipped and all that kind of stuff a million times last year. But I need to see the Bears rush without blitzing. And I've always liked Jalen Johnson, but he's really been a Pro Football Focus analytics kind of super high-end guy. And I think he's very, very good. But, I mean, healthy or not, if you think you're going to run all over the field with Justin Jefferson and make it work, that's short-sighted. Within 3 games, maybe. But, yeah, I think the Bears can win 7 or 8 games. I got the Vikings on like 10. I got the Vikings, Lions, and Packers all around 10-ish, something like that.
All right, before we let you go, I know you just said I like to live in life faith first before fear, but I'm trying to pull this fear out of you for Monday night. So what are you most fearful, like, that the Bears can win the game with what you look at with what Chicago has?
It's week 1, okay? And this is a new coach who is incredibly well respected around the NFL. Whether it's Jahmyr Gibbs or it's Roshan Johnson or DeAndre Swift or David Montgomery, Laporta, Loveland, Komet, whatever. He's good. I mean, he's good. Now, once you start getting film on teams, that's when the scheme and the system meshing with the assembled talent, well, that's when it's going to be the we know that you know, the we know that you know, and you got to get around it. But the I've heard so much this week at the Vikings facility, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, the unscouted looks, things on which you cannot work during training camp because it's somebody new in a new place with new talent. Jared Goff ran that thing perfectly. It's when it comes to Caleb, is how much of his free will is going to supersede what an accomplished play caller puts into the game. I'm going to be looking for that on Monday night. Now, I'm not going to know exactly what the plays are, but, Caleb has his will too, and he's been pretty good outside of the pocket. So it's, if they can get Ben with Caleb to mesh the way they want it to, and he follows the plan, I think Odunze is sitting on a massive season. And I mean catching, I mean running, I mean yards after catch. I just know what I saw in Rome last year. Only 2 100-yard games, but just kind of got lost in the shuffle, So I think he's the number 1 option in that offense. I think he's the one that's going to require more doubles than people think now. So I'd be wary of that. But the unpredictability of week number 1, I think all of us would agree from 1 to 53, the Vikings have a better roster. And at this stage of the equation. Now, McCarthy hasn't played a meaningful game since January 8th of 2024. Well, that counts too. But you draft him where you draft him because you think he can handle pressure. In fact, you know he can handle pressure. And you got a very smart coaching staff. Well, the Bears have a very smart coaching staff too. And you're on the road and the place is tough to win. This is going to be a spine tingler. I don't see a blowout either way. I do believe the Vikings will win a tightly contested game. But I'm telling you, Ben's going to have some tricks up his sleeve in the first quarter and a half of that game that if you're not ready for them, the gotcha plays will get you early in the game. And then that's when you can become discouraged. And just hopefully for Vikings fans, that doesn't happen.
Paul, we appreciate it so much. He's at PA on the mic on Twitter. He's a brilliant radio show that's 9 to noon, and you call your show 9 to noon. They can never change the time on you, which is great. He's got that.
Love the move.
Not that they ever would. And I highly recommend if you go to the iHeartMedia app and you tune in, if you ever want to sample the sports radio from a different city. I do it all the time. That's how you get the show. PA, always love it. Thank you so much.
Right on, man. You guys are fantastic. And the bricklayer's all over Devin Duvernay right now, isn't he? I watched that podcast the other day, man. So
Let's
I
go.
got into my game calling depth chart on Duvernay with those 2 kick return touchdowns, including a 103. Thanks for the help, my brother.
Got you, my friend.
Greg Braggs Jr., big Devin Duvernay guy.
guy-
Always has been.
You are right.
How did you help Paul Allen with Devin Duvernay?
We have secrets, and you're not privy to those secrets. Get your own friends.
Are you sure you did just start jumping up and down because he mentioned you and you actually didn't do anything about Devin Duvernay with Paul Allen?
I was jumping up because we had a show to do in 38 seconds from the end of that broadcast.
Unlike Carm, who tried to smooth over insulting Paul in the middle of the interview.
I did have to smooth that over because he didn't understand where I was, because I was going to ask him, well, why the hell are the Vikings at 8.5? Tell me why they suck. I didn't really want to ask him in that way. And then
Why not?
Paul Allen wanted to kill me, and then I think he likes me now, or at least thinks of me the way
And for those comments,
Johnny Wanna thinks about me.
at the very beginning of the show, wondering why we were late, that is why.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was Allen. Oh, I was me talking to Allen's why we were late, and that's not true. That's not true.
Hey.
That's a reach.
Hey, this was a fun show. I think everybody liked that Paul Allen interview. We will have him on again at some point this season and in the future. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the predictions as well. Take them seriously, but not too seriously. That's my advice. And also be a little worried that Carm tends to be right about them.
I mean, have I ever been wrong on anything on this show? I mean, the amount of correctness that comes out of this microphone.
I mean, your take about the captains the other day was pretty ridiculous.
I thought that was the best take, and Hoge just won't let me. We don't have time to. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Bring your facts.
I have so many facts, and y'all need to chill out.
Well, that's in general true.
I mean, my
God. This is football. It is not the end of the world.
No, I actually like when everyone attacks you.
Well, that I do. That is why you cut that video the way you cut it.
You said cut the video.
I did.
So I did you a favor, my friend.
You did, but you the videos that you took of each guy was like they were all annoyed with me.
I
Like
need
DJ looked annoyed with me.
going
Montez-
forward.
What, you want me to have videos of them skipping
How
as
about-
they were not anointed
How about
captains?
just like playing or something? You're like, whatever, Carm. Don't think he didn't do that on purpose to try to like and just bring the hate up.
Oh, you know what? Leave the producing to me and Steven. You just sit back and be an idiot.
You guys are both soft, unlike RC Cole.
Yeah,
Love
he's
you,
being
RC.
soft. He's
Love you,
being
RC.
soft. He's being soft about clips now.
Hey, I'll be on the Discord tonight, hanging out with the diehards, watching Cowboys and Eagles. So come on and hang out. Thank you, Crystal.
Maybe I'll join you for a little bit.
Jump on in.
We got a pre-recorded interview.
Shut up, Crystal. Carmen's been right a lot. Shut up.
She's right.
Don't do that to Crystal.
Yeah, and by the way, what do you got? Another Spaces tonight with your 6 friends?
Oh, you mean the one that stuck up for you today?
Oh, I love that guy.
Made you feel better?
Yeah, that guy's great.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jay Cutler's
Jay
Lighter.
Cutler's lighter.
Jay Cutler's Lighter stood up for me. We got.
Look at your watch. We're in Studio B. We could be here all day, Hoge. I'm the one that's got to load the whole tailgate line.
No, he's
today.
got news on his phone. He's got news.
No.
We all silly like the mayor.